All right, welcome. Welcome. We're not in the sports barn tonight. Eric Arnold here. We're in our alternate studio. A little cold tonight. And it's like pouring down like ice cold rain. So I'm just not feeling like stomping around out there with my computer in the rain. I guess I should be thankful it could be like below zero, like it is in Texas. Can you believe that? That's just crazy. Yeah, they're getting record low temperatures down there, breaking records by 5 and 10 degrees. Hard to believe, but hey, it's only cold rain here, so as long as we don't lose power, all good. So what do we do here? We got picks for you for Tuesday. I think we have six picks. Check here. Yeah, I'm almost certain that is correct. Any rate, well, let's recap Monday here. Let's put up the money. See, I'm sitting way over here, so I can make sure we got enough space here to put up the picks. I apologize for the previous video. Yeah, it was a hash. It was the type of deal where I tried to do something clever there and, show you what I thought was the best finish in Daytona 500 history. And, when YouTube flagged it, which it just mystifies me because that's where I got the clip from. And it wasn't from the official NASCAR account. It was from some NASCAR fan's bootleg account. So I can't figure out how that's legal, but me using it's illegal. I don't understand the YouTube, rules. But basically, it took me forever to put that video together, and then the YouTube goes and flags it. So then I'm trying to clip out the offending part, and it just turned into a mess. But it passed YouTube muster, so it's a hash, it's a mess, but it's on the net. So anyway, we'll try to do better next time. So here's what we got, our results for Monday. It was a break-even day today. We almost had a winning night. I mean, really did. The opener was a runaway loser. That Hampton game there, they, got down big early and never could catch up. East Tennessee State was down the whole damn game, but they were close. They were always within, earshot of the lead, but could never get the lead. And Chattanooga just kind of kept them at arm's length. And there at the end, we needed one more point. So that, could have gone either way. We lost by a point. What can you do? And then the next two were, runaway winners. So that always feels good. Decided that our hero of the night will be Florida State coach Leonard Hamilton. He coached the Seminoles tonight to an 81-60 win over probably the second best team in the ACC, Virginia. Hey, Virginia's got a ring, so it's never an embarrassment when you beat Virginia. And they crushed them. They got out fast on them. They ran, they dunked, they did layups, they hit threes. Florida State's a deeper team than Virginia, and it looked like that paid off tonight. Just a lot more energy that Florida State was able to bring. And hey, Leonard Hamilton, he's been around forever. This guy is, I think, 72 years old, if you can believe that. He doesn't look 72. He was actually on Joe B. Hall's bench as an assistant coach as far back as 1975. This guy actually coached against John Wooden. Can you believe that? So that's how long Leonard Hamilton's been around. He's trying to, get to his first Final Four this year. Hey, I mean, why not? Sure, I hope you make it. For Leonard Hamilton tonight, he was the hero of the night. 24 consecutive home wins in the ACC. That's hard to believe. I know the ACC's not what it used to be this year, maybe even last year, but still, 24 straight wins at home in the ACC. So for all these reasons, Leonard Hamilton, we've decided he is our hero of the night. Salute Leonard Hamilton. All right, what else we got here? So that was break even. Ridiculous cold weather going on here, in the central part of the United States. Don't know what to say about that. Just, see, that's the thing. People always want to find a reason why this is happening. It's like, it's the weather. Sometimes it's just random. It just happens. It doesn't always have to be a reason. I was surprised to find out today that my father was able to hook up his vaccination shot. I think largely due to the efforts of his wife. They didn't do it at the same time. She did hers and forgot to make his appointment, so they did it in like 2 days apart. He said, well, she forgot to do me. It's like, well, maybe you should get used to that. Maybe she's already moving on. He said he didn't even feel the shot. It's like, you didn't feel the shot? They stick this big needle in your arm, you didn't feel it? No. So it's like, I wonder if they actually did it. They might have looked at him and just said, yeah, let's just pass. We'll tell him we did it, and he won't know the difference. And oh, I'm glad he has it. I'm glad he has it. So now, maybe at some point he'll actually leave the house and stop, being terrified and locking himself in the house forever until, they carry him out feet first. So that's what I'm hoping. But yeah, so these shots are actually out there. They are actually administering them. So perhaps some cause for optimism that perhaps someday they'll let us go back to normal, maybe. I saw we have a new subscriber, Christopher Schooler. Christopher Schooler. So we appreciate him stopping by and signing up. Hope we are worthy of his loyalty, and we appreciate you, man. So for you, Mr. Schooler, salute. So, all right, let's get to Tuesday. Let's see. Bear with me. I closed the screen. Closed screen. Now we got a mess. Oh dear. Tuesday. Here we are. Okay. I don't know. Tuesday didn't go so well as I was looking at this and handicapping it, and I just couldn't come up with, sometimes the model just fits perfectly with the games, and it's like, okay, that's a no-brainer, that's easy, that's a no-brainer. And then there are other times when it's like everything is just at odds, and this was one of these days, so who knows what's going to happen here. Some of these I just kind of tried to Obi-Wan Kenobi, feel the force and divine the winner. I'm not very good at that, but to Mr. Schooler who's new, I'm not very good at it, period. I haven't picked a winner since the pandemic started, so we're just kind of marking time, I think, until sports goes back to normal and the patterns go back to historical norms, and then hopefully my model will start picking winners, which I expect it will. But for the moment, we're doing the best we can. So at 6:30 there we have Big East, Providence, UCONN. UConn's at home. They're 5.5 point favorites. These teams just played each other, and Providence was much the best. And now they're coming right back within 10 to 14 days and playing again. And now, I'm missing something to me. It's like, why is UConn all of a sudden going to be 15 points better than they were 2 weeks ago. I just, honestly, I didn't check. I just assumed that Boat Knight wasn't going to play. He's not playing, is he? Even if he was, he hasn't played in like 2 months, and I just can't believe he'd be right. So, Providence plays well late, in this February Valentine's Day to the tournament range. Ed Cooley has a history of making these late charges to get himself into the tournament. I think we just take the points here, and say what happened 14 days ago is just going to something similar is going to happen. This idea that UConn's this great team, they're really not. I've seen these guys a couple times, and they're just not that good without that star NBA player. So this is one I'm just kind of going with what I see and throwing my little model in the can. But we'll take Providence. And plus 5.5, that's what we have it at now. Bowling Green, Ball State out of the MAC. This is a model game. Bowling Green was great for us Saturday. They won outright against one of the better, I think it was Toledo, one of the better MAC teams. So maybe, hey, we're going to come right back with them, The thinking is often in college that when you pull an upset, sometimes it's just you played way over your head and it was a miracle. But then a lot of times it's a sign that you're actually getting better. That, your young players are starting to find confidence and finding their game and things are starting to mesh together. So that's kind of what we're hoping here, that Bowling Green's an improving team. Ball State's certainly nothing special. So we're going to go ahead and say Bowling Green, pick 'em at Ball State. We'll take Bowling Green. Michigan State, Purdue. This is another game where I'm just winging it. And this is just, I'm kind of doing what I said I would do last night. It's like, I'm going to go with my gut on some of these games where, Florida State, I said they're the best team in the ACC. They proved it at least for one night tonight. I said Michigan State stinks. And, Michigan State just got whipped by 30 points by Iowa. Iowa's not that great. I mean, they're a top 10 team, but they're not the 1990 UNLV running Rebels. And Michigan State generally doesn't get beat by 30 points in conference. They don't get beat by 30 points by anybody. But they just did it. I don't think that team's very good. And so, I'm only 5.5 point favorite here, Purdue. Purdue has some freshmen that are getting better. One of them kids beat us. Who's us? For you new people, us, Ohio State alumni here. Go Bucks. He beat Ohio State in Columbus. What was his name? Ivy. Ohio State's one of the best teams in the country. Purdue's freshmen are starting to get some playing time, and they're getting better. And that Purdue team is starting to gel. I don't see anything gelling up there in Lansing. So I think we could go ahead and just say Purdue's going to beat these guys. That's what I'm thinking. They're going to beat them, and they'll beat them by more than 5.5 points. In West Lafayette, that's what we're doing there. So we don't often play home teams. We are here. Nebraska. Interesting. They got a win for us this weekend. They've been playing well lately. They went to overtime at home against Illinois. That's one of the top teams in the country. They beat Penn State. They had a pretty big lead that game and then choked and then pulled it out at the end, but winning by a point. It was the first win they've had in forever, I think, in conference. So that cuts the monkey off their back. So 2 really big efforts in a row for Nebraska. And now they go down to College Park and play Maryland. Last weekend, Maryland, what was it, 10 days ago? Maryland, or was it Friday? I don't know. Within the recent memory, like in the last week or so, Maryland played Penn State. Maryland lost to Penn State. They lost by like 5 points. Penn State put a chokehold on those guys and just beat them. I think I have that right. I don't know. It seems like I might be wrong on that. All these games run together at some point. Screw it. Well, I was going to look it up here real quick. This is one of the advantages of having the computer right here. We can look that up. Because, as Larry Anderson says, accuracy is important. It's all about accuracy. Alright, yeah, so Maryland lost to Penn State up at Happy Valley. That's the same place Nebraska just beat Penn State. So I'm thinking Nebraska and Maryland are pretty similar teams. And I'm getting 10 points? Yeah, oh yeah, give me some Nebraska. Let's see if they can keep it going. So definitely want Nebraska there. Mississippi State, they're getting 5 from Auburn. I would bet the money's going to come down on Auburn because that seems to me to be a pretty popular team where everybody likes the NBA player Sharif Cooper, and I would imagine the money will be on Auburn. So I would hang out and wait to play that, and you might get that at 6 or 6.5. I'll just take it now because it's so much simpler for record-keeping purposes. So we'll just say Mississippi State. The Mississippi State coach is actually a pretty good coach, and that's kind of what we're looking at there. So Mississippi State will play them plus the 5, and then lastly, Northwestern. This is a model game. This is a game much like the Washington game tonight. Bad team, and you really got not a lot of things to recommend it. And sometimes they just are able to jump up and surprise you, where the other team just takes a break, and the bad double-digit team manages to pull, close. I don't need a win, I just need to cover. I know this, earlier near these guys played, Northwestern was kicking Illinois' ass in that first half. They were whipping these guys. They were up 10, 15 points. And then all of a sudden, Illinois got interested. That, the Underwood was livid. He was just raging mad at these guys. And he made his point clear, and they got his point across. Illinois played some defense then and just outscored them maybe 50-10, and that's not too much of an exaggeration there. In the second half, it was a complete reversal, and Illinois, one going away, covered the spread, all that. But if Northwestern can recapture what they did in that first 15 to 20 minutes against Illinois at Evanston, you might have something here, and you might be able to cover the 13. So that's it. Those are the 6 that we have. There were a lot of games. Tonight there weren't any. It's like, oh God. All the basketball's done by 9 o'clock. I was reduced to watching the Sixers tonight, for God's sakes. Oh my God. NBA basketball, just brutal. But anyway, so tomorrow should be a pretty good slate. No late night games. It's like, yeah, so, again, the basketball will be over by 11 o'clock. For us people like you sure about that, we were up late at night wanting to watch the basketball, and, the games are over by, 11, so that stinks. But I'm starting to get into, the tournament here. Baylor's coming back this weekend. They're undefeated. You got them. You got Gonzaga. They're undefeated. We're coming into the home stretch here, so I'm starting to get excited. Thinking we're going to have some fun here in the next 4 to 8 weeks. So, hey, good. This is good. Thanks for being here. We appreciate everybody that's coming out to watch. You know, the last 2 videos we've had pretty good viewership, so appreciate that. We really do. So, you know, hit the like button, as I've said before. That makes me a better handicapper. Help me help you. You know, make me feel good, and when I feel good, I feel more like handicapping and thinking about trying to pick winners. So help me help you, and hit that like button. We'll see you again. Tying it off. Eric Arnold, out.